Peace, peace, peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, I just want to first and foremost say I appreciate you watching. Um, Give a big shout out to all the wealth builders worldwide. Um, those inside and outside the group. If you're building wealth, this is a shout out to you. And I just want to thank you all for coming on the line. Um, I'm going to do a little overview today, but I'm not going to do the entire Carabar's overview because I expect you to have watched my last episode and for you to be plugging into this 1045 power call where you will get the whole overview. But I'm going to just start with gold is a store of wealth and value and is an appreciating asset. There are three major benefits of a Carabar savings account. You can now start saving physical gold in small increments. Karatbars International puts you in a position to build a global business from the comfort of your home. There are significant tax advantages to owning a home-based business. Wealth Builders Worldwide mission statement: to provide individuals with wealth, to provide individuals worldwide with the tools required to enhance their lives, achieve their dreams, and build massive wealth. We are salespeople. We are a sales team. We do not sell products, goods, or services. We sell people on the infinite possibilities of their lives and the power of their dreams. We sell people on never giving up. We believe this is a noble cause. Now, if you're a guest on the line, get back to the person who invited you and let them know you are ready to open your gold savings account right now. Okay, so we're just going to get right into the topic. And the topic, of course, is fiat currency. The reason I call this part one is because today I'm going to talk more about the fiat than the gold. Okay, so let's get into that a little bit. Let's figure out what is fiat currency. And before we do that, I'm going to read something written by President Herbert Hoover, and it was actually a statement in 1933 that was issued to Franklin D. Roosevelt. The statement says, "We have gold because we cannot trust governments." Let me read this again. We have gold because we cannot trust governments. And this statement foresaw one of the most draconian events in U.S. financial history, the Emergency Banking Act, which forced all Americans to convert their gold coins, bullion, and certificates into U.S. dollars. While the legislation successfully stopped the outflow of gold during the Great Depression, it did not charge the conviction of gold bugs who are forever confident in the gold's stability as a source of wealth. So right there, this is crazy. It says the Emergency Banking Act, which forced, not by, we didn't do this voluntarily, y'all, forced us to give up all of our gold coins and bullion and change them in for certificates of US dollars, which they then later changed into a fiat currency. So, so not only did they steal our gold from us, but they exchanged it for something that was later going to be devalued and may eventually become worth nothing. Quite a scam, huh? You guys talk about scam and asking me about scam and is Karatbars a scam? No, the greatest scam in the world was played on us, in 1932 when we had to turn all of our gold in for what was to become a fiat currency. So this is from Investopedia. I consider them a pretty good source. A lot of the information they have is able to be backed up by other sources. And so, when doing research, I think that's very important. Don't just read a story and go on it, guys, because, you want to see who the author is. You want to see who's writing it so that you can make sure that you are credible when you speak, especially on these subjects. So it said, fiat money only has value because the government maintains the value or because two parties agree on a said value. Fiat money was introduced as an alternative to commodity-backed money, right? So what we see here is that the fiat is basically has no value other than what one or more parties say about it. And our our government is very careful about protecting the value of our fiat currency. And If you let me tell it, we'll go to war over protecting, the value of our fiat. And see, the thing is, I don't even want to get too far into this, but do you know how much money we've lost on these wars that we've went to purely to protect our currency? It seems to me it would have been a better idea to just keep the gold backing, and we wouldn't need to go and use military to enforce a currency that has no value. All we had to do was keep the value behind our money. Like, what is wrong with these people? And do you know, too, that this is a fact? At one time, we had 75%, America was in possession of 75% of the world's available gold. Interesting, right? So if if we had kept it up from there, we would have the strongest economy in the world. Why did we let that go? There's a lot of theories about that, a lot of theories. I'm not going to really get too much into all of those possibilities, but let's just talk a little more about fiat. So it says, because fiat money is not linked to physical reserves, it risks becoming worthless due to hyperinflation. And I just want to take the time, there's a little wordplay in worthless, because if you were to break it down, there's a very similar term called worth less, right? Not worthless, but worth less. Now, what has been happening to our money day after day, year after year, since at least 1933? It's become worth less, but if you combine that word, it's eventually going to become worthless, which is not a big jump, And it says, because fiat money is not linked to physical reserves, it risks becoming worthless due to hyperinflation. If people lose faith in a nation's paper currency, like the US dollar bill, the money will no longer hold any value. Now, it's interesting here, because when they said if the people lose faith in the nation's paper currency, and they use the US dollar bill as an example for that, folks. So this is, this is not new news. This is not revolutionary information. This is information that, it almost should be common knowledge, but it's not. And that's why I hope that this stream will help. So what I like y'all to do is, do your own investigation. Don't take anything that I say or anybody else says, as 100%. Go and investigate it. Investigate everything I'm saying. And I will always give you the sources of my information so that, we can build together. And, hopefully we can get to the bottom of some of this. So it says, this differs from gold, which historically has been used in jewelry and decoration and has many modern economic uses, including its use in manufacture of electronic devices, computers, and aerospace vehicles. So when we're talking about the importance of gold, folks, we're not just talking about something that's in limited supply. We're talking about something that's needed for some of the most important electronic devices, computers, and even aerospace vehicles. That means, the secret to us getting to outer space successfully, has something to do with gold. Computers, which have revolutionized the way that we do everything. You're talking about quantum computers and these kinds of things. They need gold. Some of your mobile devices may need gold. So this gold is important in so many different ways. And the fact that there's a limited supply, it can't be printed off of a machine. It just makes it that much more valuable. So let's look at the history of fiat money. It says historically, most currencies were based on a physical commodities, such as gold and silver. But fiat money is based solely on faith and credit of the economy. Most modern paper currencies are fiat currencies. They have no intrinsic value and are used solely as means of a payment. Historically, governments would mint coins out of physical commodities such as gold or silver, or would print money that could be redeemed in set amount of physical commodity, right? it says the US dollar as fiat money. The US dollar is considered to be both fiat money and legal tender. Legal tender is any currency that a government declares to be legal. Many governments issue fiat currencies, then make it legal tender by setting it as the standard for debt repayment. So the fact that our fiat money is legal tender means nothing. It just means that the government put its stamp on it. But of course they did, because they took all of our gold from us first. Okay, US dollars are now backed by the US government, making it a fiat money, and as legal tender is accepted for both private and public debts. Listen to that. Is accepted for both private and public debts. And the key word is debts, because when you're holding on to money, I just kept a little bit around me today, but I usually try to keep this crap away from me. I don't like money, not American, not fake money, not fiat money. You know, I like real money. I like gold. You know, I like gold. That's just me though. And so I put more around me of what I want to attract. So instead of putting money in my pockets, I put gold. Now, some of y'all might be saying, well, that's not practical. We need money. Okay, yeah. So I might keep a few dollars in my pocket, you know, for, you know, the store or whatever the case is. But really, that's not what I'm trying to attract. And so that's why I don't keep it around me, folks. So if ever I'm trying to talk about money and I don't have none close by, it's not because I don't have any. It's just because, you know, that's not something I want really close to me, because you attract, you know, more of what you already have. And, you know, so one of the most wealth attracting substances in the world is gold. You know, ask any of the kings, ask any of the rulers, you know, from the times that have passed. It says advantages and disadvantages of fiat money. Fiat money serves as a good currency if it can handle the roles that an economy needs of it. Monetary unit, storing value, providing a numerical account, and facilitating exchange. Well, guess what, guys? Our dollar does all that, you know, for the most part. So, I mean, could we be considered a good fiat currency? Perhaps. But fiat, I just have to remind you, means no intrinsic value. And I just wanted to get into fiat a little bit, because, you know, most of our language comes from Latin, at least the root of our words. So fiat, in its Latin terms, means fiare, and it's an arbitrary act, right? So fiare means based on an arbitrary act or decree, excuse me. And I just wanted to break down arbitrary. Arbitrary means based on a random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. So the Latin word fiat comes from the word fiare, which means an arbitrary act or decree, right? An arbitrary act or decree. So arbitrary means based on a random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. So that should tell us a lot, you know, right there about our fiat currency. And I just like to give a big shout out once again to Wealth Builders Worldwide, the Carrot Bars, for helping to educate me and to give me the drive to go get some of this financial literacy for myself and, you know, to study. And it does take some of that, y'all. Like, you're not going to learn everything you know from watching streams or from watching my streams or anybody else's. It's going to take some good old-fashioned hard work to get to the bottom of this. You know, you're not going to just know everything there is to know about money or know everything there is to know about fiat or know everything there is to know about gold simply by watching videos. You know, that's a good start. But go ahead and pick up a couple books. You know, there's really, really great books on this subject. And I'm not going to give you a list of them right now, but, you know, you should look into that. Do some reading. You know, millionaires read a lot. You know, I think, I forget how many books they read a year, but I know it's over 50, you know. So it's like, how many books are you reading? How many books do you have right now? What are your books about? You know, do you have any books about financial literacy, the most important subject in the world? Why is financial literacy the most important subject in the world? Well, that's easy, because financial literacy leads to financial freedom. And financial freedom is the only true freedom. Why do I say that? Well, They say, well, what about spirituality? How does spirituality, connect with, financial freedom? Well, I'll tell you how it connects. Right now, if you're working 60 hours a week and then traveling 10 hours a week, you don't have much time to meditate and pray. You don't have time to read your Bible, your Quran, your Torah, your Injil, your Book of the Dead, you know, um, and so many other great works. You don't have time to read them. You don't have time to be spiritual when you're constantly worried about your bills. Now, it's not saying that you're not spiritual because you have a lot of bills, but it doesn't give you that time that you need to really in tune yourself. This is just my opinion, folks. I think people could be a lot more spiritual, a lot more artistic if we weren't trapped in this ongoing, perpetual, just, I'm not going to say the word I want to use, but it's a type of servitude. It's a type of servitude, and it's involuntary. Not everybody wants to be doing this. How many people hate their job? What about the fact that they went and did, a survey of factory workers, and most of them didn't even know why they showed up for work. They just, the ones that did answer is because everybody else did. That's a shame. That's a shame. We don't even know what we're doing or why we're doing it anymore. All we know is that we're drowning in debt. and we're drowning in debt because of the fiat currency. Because fiat currency is debt. This isn't money, y'all. This is debt. This is debt. I don't want any more debt. You see what I'm saying? I don't want that. I want real money. That's all I want. I want real money. I don't want debt. And that's one of the secrets to breaking free of this financial system that a lot of us are trapped under. And don't think because you went and got yourself a little business and you're a business owner that you're financially free, because we know that's not true. You might be doing more well off than some of your other classmates, but guess what? Shut your business down right now. Shut it down. Don't show up for work. Don't issue the paychecks this week. See what I'm saying? And all of that goes down the drain. Don't fulfill one of your contracts. All of this kind of stuff. So you being a business owner and working is not much different. And as a business owner, I've had several businesses so far. I know that. I know that. That's not giving you freedom. That's not giving you freedom. So it's like you want to find another way. And there is another way. And one of those ways, as I always tell y'all, I'm not just presenting problems here, folks. There's enough people doing that. Everybody is talking about the problems, correct? Everybody's talking about the problems. But the whole thing is, who has some solutions? Who has some solutions? So here, we don't just pose the problem, we pose the solutions too. And I just want to say what's up to everybody in the room. I kind of been reading, so I had another screen up, so I couldn't, kind of give you all a shout out. But Hotep, Amunet, Ray, good morning. Good morning to you. 50 Shades of Jay, how you doing? Julie, what's up with you? My Wildwood team, Elizabeth Valencia, how are you today? Napt Kaf, Ray, Amun, Rahubat, Zamal, blessings to you, peace and blessings to you, Hotep. Drew, hey, what's good, brother? One of the nicest rappers I know, one of the few white boys that can really rap. Daryl Matthews, rat race, you're absolutely right. And we do have to get out of this rat race. You're right. And Elizabeth, it says you all have the reason. I want real money too. And that's correct, y'all. That's correct. We need real money. Let's get this real money. And we have a solution. Okay, so let's get back to the solution. The solution is this, for those of y'all who are watching that are not a part of this system, it's Carrot Bars, y'all. It's a free gold savings account. What does that mean? That means that you can sign up today for free, no hidden fees, no fees in the future, no fees in the past, none of the crap that you deal with. So you'd be like, well, why are you telling me this? Do you get paid if I sign up? No, I don't get paid if you sign up. A lot of the people in Carrot Bars are doing this for the love, and that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I love all of you, and I like to see you break free of this, financial servitude. I'm going to use servitude. So, that's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not even doing this to get y'all to sign up to Karatbars. What I'm doing this for is to get y'all to have a greater understanding or overstanding of how to break out of these financial binds and these financial constraints. And the reason I'm saying Karatbars is because they are the ones, the wealth builders worldwide and descendants of the Karatbars, they're the ones who have made me interested and given me this foundation of financial literacy that is freeing me, or I should say has freed me. I already feel free, and I've never felt that way before in my life, people. And you might imagine how it feels. Everybody can imagine freedom, but to taste it is something unexplainable. And I hope you all get to taste it. Maybe some of you already have, and that's great. you know. Um, so it said losing faith in fiat currency. Fiat currencies are considered far more stable than commodity bags. That's because the value of the commodity is based on its stability, and its price will tend to fluctuate based on its physical reserves. Now, that's really, some people would say that's why we switched over to fiat, because of the stability, meaning that, if the economy got bad, we can just print out more money. And okay, that's good, but what about the fact that every dollar you print out is taking off some of the percentage of the money that's in my pocket? I have a problem with that. I have a problem with every time all these 100 bills that are being printed out are coming out of my money. But I don't have a problem with that because I'm not saving in money anymore. And I mentioned this in the first bill, saving money. If you're saving money, you're losing money. If you're saving money, you're losing money. Now, the thing is, I respect you if you're saving money because that means you have discipline. You have the discipline that it would take to start saving in gold, right? Now, here's the interesting thing. To me, this just dawned on me actually this morning when I was taking some notes. It's like we actually have the ability right now, right, to take this worthless currency and still change it into gold. You know what I mean? We can still change it into gold. You can't do that at your bank. You can't take this to your bank and get some gold. But Karatbars International is giving us the ability to do that. Now, I've had some friends be like, when I tell them about this, they're like, look, brother, I'm not in a position to afford gold right now. Okay, so that means you must not have $5 to your name, not $5, because that's what this costs, $5. I'm not flashing $100 gold currency bill. This is $5. And guess what? This is, quadruple the value of this to me. Why? Because this is eventually going to become worth more than this. And it's going to happen pretty fast because this is going this way and this is going this way in value. And that's another thing. We're talking about our Karat cash, right? You have the choice between having a cash, a currency that's going to increase in value with the metal that's inside of it. That's 1/10 of a gram of gold. So that means this currency goes up in value. When's the last time your American currency has done that for you? How else can you get interest on your money? This is the real way to grow interest. You get some money that grows with the metal that's inside of it. So this money is not just backing up some gold that's somewhere on a shelf somewhere that you'll never see. This gold is in your pocket. So if all the banks close down, if there's a complete economic collapse, you can go into your shoebox and you got some real currency, Jack. And guess what? It's going to be worth way more than it is now. Why? Because it'll be the only currency. If a dollar's worth nothing, what is the currency that's out there worth? That's made of gold. And gold didn't just start being, worth something. Gold goes back, depending on which, history that you look into. And I don't want to get too far into gold today, but gold has a fascinating history. Let's look at ancient Babylon, ancient Sumer. They have a story that says that humans were created because of gold. We were created to help those advanced intelligences to mine gold for their home planet that had a dwindling atmosphere. What's interesting about that is somehow they would be able to use gold to restore their atmosphere. That's something we haven't even, considered the use of gold for. So the uses of gold are virtually infinite. And there is just some tremendous histories and stories about gold. And I would go as far as saying, the Babylonian history is more concrete than, than say some of these more recent works. And the reason I say that is because it's still written in stone. It's still written in stone. There's the original version. A lot of these holy books, y'all can't show me the original version. So stuff written in stone to me is just what it is. It's written in stone. It's like the hieroglyphs in ancient Egypt. Like, these are truths that have been untampered with. They haven't, they haven't been rewritten and retranslated a million times. So I do encourage y'all, if y'all want to get to the truth, look at some of them stone carvings and learn some of those languages. All right, so we're getting too far off course, which is easy to do. So it says, so it is possible for the public to lose faith in its nation's currency. It can happen. One only needs to look at Zimbabwe, the southern African country whose own currency was ruined by hyperinflation. Economic conditions under the country's president, Robert Mugabe, were deteriorating in the 90s, with a low standard of living, high unemployment, low wages, and inflation as high as 17% at one point. In 2000, Mugabe began a series of land reform programs, which sought to take the farms from the white minority and hand them over to black residents. Unfortunately, the farms were given to people who lacked experience in agriculture. This hit the country's export revenues as these farms started to fail. In order to respond to the shortfall, the country's central bank started to print money at a much more rapid pace instead of trying to implement more traditional forms of economic policy. The money printed was used to help pay off the country's debts and to offset high prices set by agriculture and industry of failure. The economy continued to fall. Inflation hit record rates, at one point hitting 230 and 500 billion% in 2008. Prices were rising rapidly and consumers were forced to carry bags of money just to purchase basic staples. Now listen to that, y'all, because we talk about the devaluation of our own currency and what we've seen since we were kids spending $1 to now spending $1. So we see that our dollar is devaluing. Now imagine having to fill bags of American money to go get a loaf of bread. This has happened to other nations, and they also had fiat currencies. They were also printing off bill after bill after bill with nothing backing it. And is our fiat going to be successful? Well, the last 660 fiat currencies weren't. It says the currency had to be scrapped altogether and was ultimately replaced by the US dollar in 2009. Well, that's a shame, because they took one fiat currency that had failed and replaced it with another failing fiat currency. I guess that gave them an extension of time, at least, but probably not the greatest idea. I just wanted to go back to where we started with this. And, it says, we have gold because we cannot trust governments. And this was written by President Herbert Hoover. Well, this was actually in a statement Herbert Hoover said in 1933 to Franklin D. Roosevelt. But it is recorded, y'all. Y'all can go back and look this up. And, that's very interesting, because then they went and forced all Americans to convert their gold coins and bullions and certificates in the US dollar. So, right, they implemented a law where we were no longer allowed to collect, maintain, have gold. It was illegal to have gold, people. So, y'all should be really excited that not only we can have gold now, the only real true currency that will never ever fail, but we can get it in reasonable rates that we can afford, and we can do that through Carrot Bars. And so if you're new to this call, if you're learning from this call, if somebody else put you on to this call, just get back with the person who told you about it and get them to give you more information. Get them to help you sign up right now. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for our fiat currency to devalue the rest of the way? It's already devalued 94%. So you probably don't have to wait too long. It could happen in your lifetime, But, if you feel like you're waiting for something good, keep at it. Keep at it. So basically, I'm going to kind of wrap it up there, and I hope that you guys have a little bit of a better understanding of fiat and what it means and what it really is. And when I do the next one, the part 2, we're going to be talking about gold, predominantly talking about gold. But anyway, man, I want to tell all you out there, thank you for joining. I love you, and I wish you all peace and prosperity on this golden day. There was one more thing I wanted to say. If, for instance, you're on here and you just found this by accident, or I put you on here, then just inbox me and I'll help you get started. I'll help free gold savings account. And I know that free kind of scares people away, but trust me, it really is free. I didn't spend any money for 2 years. Now, I'm not recommending that, but it's just proof that the system is free. You sign up for a free gold savings account. You start buying some gold when you want to. The gold gets shipped to you direct via FedEx from Stuttgart, Germany. It takes a few weeks to come because it's coming from a long ways, but you do get it. And here's the thing, your gold is insured by Karatbars. That means Karatbars insures, well, between them and FedEx somewhere, your gold is insured until you receive it. Excuse me. So the FedEx guy comes to your door, and in my case, he basically asked me, what my name was. So he did a little security question on me. I told him my name. I was at the address, and then I had to sign off on it. And once I got the package, then it was officially mine, and it's no longer insured. So you will get your gold. You will get your gold. And I personally will guarantee that because I've got plenty of it myself, and I'm going to continue to get it. I'm going to continue to turn this junk. Wow. And see, here's the thing. How much longer will you be able to do that? How much longer will you be able to turn this monopoly money into gold? It's like a lifetime opportunity and chance, and I know that you still have to pay some bills, so don't turn your rent money into gold, even though your landlord would probably be happy with that. But pay your bills. I'm not saying not to be practical. I'm not saying the US currency doesn't have any place. It does. We still got to use it for now. One last thing I'm gonna leave you off on is I emphasize for now, because guess what? We're not going to have to use that for much longer, not even here in the United States, because this right here is the same thing like you see in the windows, credit card, MasterCard, PayPal, what you see on the store windows. And it's funny, when they first put the PayPal up there, I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, PayPal, they accept PayPal, what is that? It's a digital currency. Well, guess what? We don't only have gold. We also have cryptocurrency that's backed up by gold, that's in a bank. This is physical gold that's in a bank that backs up our cryptocurrency. And we don't need gold to back up our money because our gold is inside of our money. So the gold backs up the cryptocurrency. And one last thing, grab yourself some cryptocurrency, which you can do with your free account through Karatbars. You can grab yourself some cryptocurrency. You can get yourself some KCB right now for about 15 cents a coin. And it's going to go on the ICO in September of next year. Get it now. This is the chance that people had when Bitcoin was still young. And I used this in my first build. I was like, what if I came to you when Bitcoin was about to be big and told you about Bitcoin? Would you have accepted it? Would you have bought any of it? And the truth is, most of you wouldn't have, even if you had been warned about it. So like, oh, I wish I knew about Bitcoin. But if somebody told you, you would have passed it off. Don't do that with Karatbars. Don't. Get in, get yourself some crypto, get yourself some gold, and do it immediately, because it's really going to change your life. Not only your life, and that's the thing, there's other people's lives who are on the line here, guys. If you have kids, if you have grandkids, You're talking about generational. You can break your whole generation from here on out of this debt system. And that should be the most exciting thing that you heard today, or that you maybe heard in your life. With all that being said, peace and prosperity to all. Au.